The millionaire's true wealth. The sun rose bright over the grand estate of Adrian Vayner, a self-made millionaire who had built his empire from the dust of childhood poverty. To the world, he seemed to have it all: wealth, power, a magnificent home, and a glamorous fiancée who drew admiration everywhere they went. But fate has a way of shattering illusions. One afternoon, returning home earlier than expected, Adrian stepped quietly into the marble halls of his mansion. He carried a bouquet of his mother's favorite flowers, planning to surprise her. Instead, what he saw froze his blood. At the base of the staircase, his frail, elderly mother stood trembling, leaning on her walking stick. Before her, with eyes blazing in fury, was Cassandra, his beautiful fiancée. Adrian's heart stopped as Cassandra lifted her foot and kicked at the defenseless woman. The flowers slipped from his hands, and with them, the life he thought he knew came crashing down. A mother's sacrifice. Adrian's mother, Era, had been his foundation. His father abandoned them when Adrian was just a boy. She worked 3 jobs to put food on the table, shielding her son from despair even when money was scarce. Her sacrifices became Adrian's fuel. He grew determined to succeed, not for himself, but for the mother who never let him feel poor in spirit. When fortune finally found him, he gave her the comfort she had long deserved, a life of dignity, security, and love. But Adrian also longed for a family of his own. That longing blinded him when he met Cassandra. The mask of Cassandra. Cassandra was strikingly beautiful, her elegance and charm lighting up every room. To Adrian, she seemed attentive, gentle, perfectly suited for the role of his partner. Era welcomed her at first, though her heart sensed shadows hidden in Cassandra's smile. The truth was darker. Cassandra had grown up craving wealth and status above all else. Her affection for Adrian was built not on love, but on ambition. While Adrian traveled for business, Cassandra revealed her true self. She belittled Era, hid her medicine, mocked her frailty. Era bore the cruelty in silence, unwilling to burden her son or risk shattering his happiness. She prayed love might one day soften Cassandra's heart. But on that fateful morning, the truth could no longer hide. The shattering. "You're nothing but a burden in this house," Cassandra spat, her foot striking again. "Why don't you disappear already?" Adrian's voice thundered through the hall as he rushed forward. Rage trembled in his words, betrayal burned in his eyes. Cassandra froze, color draining from her face. Era's eyes filled with tears, not for herself, but for her son, who now stood on the edge of heartbreak. The engagement ended that very day. Cassandra wept, pleaded, promised change. But Adrian's decision was final. His mother's dignity was not negotiable. News of the broken engagement spread quickly. The glamorous couple admired by many had collapsed overnight. But Adrian no longer cared for appearances. He had learned the hard truth. Character is revealed not in public displays, but in how we treat those most vulnerable. A new beginning. The days that followed were heavy. Adrian poured his time into his mother, determined to heal the wounds she had endured in silence. They sat together on the balcony at sunrise, sipping tea, sharing memories of simpler times. Adrian often struggled with guilt for not seeing sooner, but Era only smiled through tears. "You came back when it mattered," she whispered. "That is enough for me." Her words steadied him. The transformation. In the months that followed, Adrian's heart and vision changed. His empire no longer mattered if it wasn't rooted in kindness. He grew closer to his employees, ensuring their families were cared for. He funded programs for the elderly, dedicating his wealth to those abandoned by the world. Era became his partner in these efforts, her wisdom guiding his hand. Slowly, Adrian healed. The scars of betrayal remained, but they became reminders. Wealth could buy jewels and estates, but it could not disguise cruelty. And true love could never be built on greed. Cassandra's fall. As for Cassandra, her world crumbled without Adrian's fortune to sustain her. She had gambled everything on greed and lost. The glittering circle she craved shut its doors, leaving her a shadow of the glamorous woman she once pretended to be. The legacy. Adrian, meanwhile, thrived, not in wealth alone but in love, respect, and purpose. His mother's love had been the foundation of his empire, and now it became the compass for his life. This story reminds us of something simple yet profound. Kindness is the true measure of worth. Beauty fades, money shifts, but the way we treat others, especially the vulnerable, defines who we are at our core. Adrian's heartbreak became his turning point. He learned that true wealth is not counted in coins or contracts, but in compassion, dignity, and love. He became not just a millionaire in fortune, but a millionaire in heart.